Brew, who do you expect to have the more impressive game here?
Look, both players are cooking. No question about it. Now, differently, because Brock cooks, or it has been throughout the entire game, and Caleb, we know, does it at the end. He was bad, terrible, for the first, 3.5 quarters last week against Green Bay, and then was heroic at the end. And he's had several games like that. So I do think he could end up being heroic. If they win, I think it'll be because he did something special at the end of the game. But throughout the 4 quarters, I expect San Francisco to build a decent lead because Purdy has played well throughout the game and Caleb hasn't. And this game is in San Francisco. Caleb is a different quarterback at home and on the road. Look at these numbers. The road, that's a bad passer rating. Completion percent, he's not great with that anywhere, but the interceptions, which he doesn't throw a lot of, for him to throw 5 on the road is a high number.
It's also surprising because normally when you see those splits, it's because a guy's home games are in a dome. It's because it's not like Soldier Field or is, a quarterback
even the sacks,
haven.
Look at that, which he's done a great
and I wonder
job
how
with
much
the
of that is the noise on, one of the issues he had certainly early in the year has been kind of the operation, pre-snapping and everything done. I wonder how much of that is the noise on the road, further distracts it. I really trust Kyle Shanahan against overmatched defenses. And I think the Bears defense is a little overmatched in this spot. And so, and I also think that the Bears' offensive game plan is going to be to run the ball as much as possible and try to take advantage of some of the Niners' injuries. But I think that there will be Niners players running open far more than there will be Bears players running open. And so I think that Purdy could have a really good stat line. Now, the Bears have made their money by turning you over. And Purdy, the last few years, has been a guy who will throw some balls in
early this season, especially when he wanted to show something.
Will put the ball in jeopardy. And so this could, I think Purdy is more likely to have an A+ game than Caleb, and I think Purdy's more likely to have an F game.
An F game?
No, I'm saying if one of the two quarterbacks has an awful game, Purdy would be my pick. If one of the two quarterbacks has an awesome game, Purdy would be my pick for that as well. I know those sound in conflict, but I don't think they actually are. I just think he'll be the higher variance quarterback in this.
All right. These are exactly the kinds of conversations I live for. And no, the points aren't in conflict. I hear you, Nick. This matchup is absolutely fascinating because both teams genuinely want it. Both teams feel like they need it. There's a ton on the line right now. While there's a definite disparity in rest, the 49ers' schedule compared to when the Bears last played is a factor, that doesn't diminish the intrigue. What's particularly compelling is the recent evidence we have. We just saw Phillip Rivers, that seasoned veteran, carve up this 49ers defense. That performance was real. It wasn't a fluke or a product of misleading stats. It wasn't a bunch of short passes that turned into long gains due to missed tackles. Rivers was genuinely impressive, operating at a high level. And that tells you something. Whether he's 28 or 44, a player with that acumen is capable of exploiting weaknesses. So, take that observation as you will. On the other side, Ben Johnson is no slouch. He knows exactly what he's doing. So, it will be incredibly interesting to see what Caleb Williams and that Bears offense can conjure against this 49ers defensive unit, because the potential is certainly there. Conversely, there is absolutely potential for Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy to have their way with the Chicago Bears defense. This very well could turn into a high-scoring affair. The question, I suppose, is how to frame the central tension. Let me put it this way. Assuming key players like Christian McCaffrey, who got banged up but is likely playing, are active, there should be a higher degree of expectation. If we examine both quarterbacks, each facing defenses that can be leaned on or exploited might be too strong. Let's say defenses they can take advantage of. Then, at this stage in their respective careers, the Shanahan-Purdy combination and the way this 49ers offense has been operating should logically carry a greater likelihood of capitalizing on those opportunities. I'm also utterly fascinated to see what wrinkles Robert Saleh can dial up. It feels like the passing defense for San Francisco has been the more challenging aspect to mitigate in recent weeks. Against some of the better offenses that can strategically pick their spots, they've at least managed to limit the run game to a degree, whether it was against the Rams or even the Colts. We know the Bears want to establish the run. It's a core part of their identity with Ben Johnson. So, I'll be keenly watching that specific matchup. Statistically, the 49ers' run defense is pretty solid, ranking in the top 8. They're not at the absolute pinnacle like Denver or Jacksonville, but they're firmly in that 8 to 15 range, respectable for their objectives. However, their passing defense has resided near the bottom of the league. This dynamic will be critical. Can San Francisco force Caleb Williams into obvious passing situations? Can they stifle those explosive early down runs that put the Bears in favorable play action and manageable downs, instead creating third and longs? That's the chess match I'm eager to watch, because Ben Johnson is unapologetically committed to running the football. Now, Shanahan loves to run it too, of course, but there should be a degree of versatility with Purdy at this point, alongside weapons like McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, and Brandon Ayuk. The question becomes, can you execute? Can you make the necessary plays? You're either the Brock Purdy-led, Kyle Shanahan-engineered 49ers offense, or you're not. I hold that unit to an exceptionally high standard. What they accomplished in 2022 and 2023, and even Shanahan's track record stretching back further, isn't some fluke. It commands tremendous respect. It's not lightning in a bottle. And this is a massive game. This isn't some Week 8 hypothetical where we're just debating Caleb versus Purdy for conversation's sake. The 49ers are playing for the number 1 seed. While the Bears are theoretically in that hunt as well, the 49ers are truly in the driver's seat. Even if Chicago wins, they'd likely still need help from Seattle losing. The 49ers' path is straightforward. Win this game, win the next, and you secure the top seed, the first-round bye, and home field advantage until the Super Bowl. This is a huge, massive game. Shanahan won't be holding anything back, and Purdy has to understand the magnitude. That's why I'm so captivated, not just by the tactical matchups, but by the psychological dimension. Are you a big game player? Do you rise to the occasion in these moments? I often use the Kansas City Chiefs as a benchmark for this. What did they do when they were at their peak in these crucial spots? Andy Reid showed up. Patrick Mahomes showed up. Travis Kelce showed up. Steve Spagnuolo showed up. They consistently showed up. Conversely, other supremely talented teams that have fallen short, whether the Ravens, Bills, or others, often have these subtle moments where they don't quite bring it home. In 2022, 2023, and even 2019, the 49ers found ways to get it done in these high-leverage situations. Now we have a somewhat older, yet also refreshed version of this 49ers team. They've been a difficult team to evaluate all year due to a carousel of injuries. Players have been in and out of the lineup constantly. As a result, no one has ever fully bought into them as a real team. The narrative has been, it's cool they keep winning, but their luck will run out, or they'll run out of gas. Well, here is the moment to prove that wrong. This iteration may not look exactly like past versions, and they've arguably been undercovered this year compared to when they were a constant headline act. Coming off a rough, non-playoff season last year, they're still in position to grab the 1 seed. It's a truly fascinating spot. Sunday night, prime time, at home, Brock Purdy, Caleb Williams. An established, long-tenured coach with a quarterback who has been to a Super Bowl versus a second-year quarterback and a first-year head coach on the road. You could easily argue this is the biggest game of Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams' young partnership, quite possibly the biggest of their respective careers to this point. The stakes escalate with each passing week, and they're on the road. While you could point to divisional games like against Green Bay having a rivalry edge, this game has tangible, seismic playoff implications. The difference between a Super Bowl path with a bye and home field or a much tougher road. Major consequences. Major stakes. The advantage on paper should go to the 49ers. The question is, are they in a position to leverage that and truly take advantage? That's what I'm excited to find out. Because if you are who you're supposed to be, these are the games. These are the moments you rise to the occasion. This is not the type of game where you have 2 touchdowns, an interception, and a fumble. That's not the performance of a bona fide top 4, top 5 quarterback or a championship caliber team. That's the performance of a, yeah, we're good team. A team that's good when the situation is favorable, when the matchups are right, and when the supporting cast is strong. That's a, depending on the year, we could contend team. The elite tier is different. It doesn't matter. Every year we're in it. Every year it's a battle. Every year we're there. 2022, they were there. 2023, they were there. 2024, decimated by injuries? Dismiss that narrative. 2024, let's go. 2025, let's go. These are the moments you demonstrate that identity. This is precisely why a team like the Kansas City Chiefs deserves immense credit. They have always showed up in these moments. Always. I'm not sure there's even a clear second-place team you could say has shown up with that same relentless consistency. It's not about winning every single time. Nobody does. But it's about showing up, being present, and performing under the brightest lights. There are many times I expect other teams or individuals to show up, and they don't, reminding me just how difficult it truly is. In some ways, the Chiefs over those years made it look easy, and that's what happens when you keep reaching AFC championship games and Super Bowls. It starts to feel almost automatic. Any great team can do it, but that's false. There have been many great teams, quarterbacks, and coaches who couldn't show up at that rate with that frequency. The most defining, consistent factor in true greatness is, ironically, consistency itself. It's not about being perfect 100% of the time. It's about the frequency. Can you do it 7 out of 10 times? 8 out of 10? 9 out of 10? The level of consistency exhibited by dynasties like the Patriots with Tom Brady or the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes is what directly translates to legendary status. So, the question for the 49ers is, who are you right now? And on the flip side, for the Chicago Bears, this is their opportunity to show, we are that team now. We just don't have the track record yet because we're brand new. Allow us to demonstrate that the consistency starts today. I love everything about this narrative. I can't wait for this game, and I'm thrilled it's a standalone showcase. Sunday night, 8:20 p.m. Let's get after it. Those are my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you all think about the 49ers taking on the Bears? Who do you expect to have the more impressive game? Brock Purdy or Caleb Williams? It's pretty interesting to see Nick's perspective. We know he hasn't been a believer in Brock Purdy, and he was tremendously high on Caleb Williams, to the point of predicting MVP candidacy and a Super Bowl run. He's obviously cooled on Caleb since then. Now, in this moment, normally when he's all in on a player, this is where he'd proclaim, Purdy can't handle the moment, but we know Caleb can. We're not getting that energy, that showmanship, or that bravado. It's intriguing. I'm not quite sure how to interpret it yet. Maybe he's been burned too many times and is pulling back. But I don't think that's it either, because being wrong still drives engagement. I'll have to sit with that one. But what about you all? Who do you have? Caleb or Purdy? Who's about to show out? Who's going to win this pivotal game? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. Whether you agree or disagree, let's dive into some discussions, maybe even some friendly fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun with it. Please consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you become part of it. I want to build something we all genuinely feel connected to, something we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it truly helps with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.